Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Gigabyte Challenge number 13 on Truesight TV. I'm SP Revolution 5, joined by Turbo for vMz up against BBC. Turbo, how's it going, man?
Going pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm excited to be here, man. I did slip out of the last game a little early because Capitalist was already on it, and Dragon Drop was telling me they were about to start this one, so I was like, you know what? Most of the viewers are here for that. Let's scoot on over. We'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, so excited to see it. It is just a best of one single elimination. And I didn't tell you about this one, and you are not obligated to stick around for it at all, but they will go up against the winner of Aspera and My Sanity right after this, and I'll be covering that as well. And Turbo, if you'd like to join me, you're free to, man.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Let's cast some Dota 2.
Alright, so pretty strange bans on vMz's side, banning out the first band, Lena. I mean, Weeha's known for it, but I feel like there's ways to work around it, you know?
Definitely, she's pretty switchy early, slow as well. She can be ganked pretty easily, but in that mid game, I think she dishes out too much damage, I think, to be ignored. And if you don't want to deal with it, then you don't want to deal with it. So they're just gonna skip it entirely.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something you definitely don't have to worry about then. They do have the Dazzle, but of course Dazzle would have been vulnerable to that instant lasagna blade from Lena. So Earthshaker being picked up by BBC, some nice big stun, some good team fight, and something to counter Dazzle's likelihood of having lots of allies in the same small area.
Earthshaker is a pretty stable early pick. We saw him fall out of favor for a little bit, but he's come back in a big way, slamming fools left and right.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still formidable support. He can be a decent core too. I believe Weeha has experience with that as well. So, it's all up to how they want, and they have versatility. That's the big thing here. They have the Axe, the Earthshaker. They don't reveal a whole lot about their draft in the early picks, whereas vMz have kind of shown their hand a little bit with this Dazzle Wisp.
Yeah, some very squishy heroes against some real beefcakes here in terms of the Axe, and yeah, the Dazzle pickup, and then boom, the counter. There you go. What you gonna do?
So we see very smart bans coming out from vMz here. They banned the Ancient Apparition, who could combo well not only with Earthshaker in that it allows them to have a lot of control in the lane, and it lets them put out a lot of damage. And the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast also wrecks Dazzle's healing abilities, and that's what you pick him for, really.
Yeah, Broodmother as well, being banned out, because vMz, they can't pick it at this point. Against Axe and Earthshaker, that's almost the dream for Axe and Earthshaker, but not for the Broodmother. And then Bristleback being banned out, simply because they're already going to have a lot of armor with the Dazzle. You add on to that the fact that when you do damage him, he's going to spray right back at you. It's just not fun to go up against, you know?
Definitely not. And I mean, Dazzle and Wisp both combo very well with Bristleback, I would say. And they'll also ban out Slark. That one's pretty good too, because Slark excels with his mobility, and he can really go around and wreck Earthshaker, prevent him from getting his initiations off
in the way that he wants to. You can't dunk him.
Yeah.
And now Shadow Fiend coming out, so they're looking for a wombo combo team fight, in my opinion. Axe Call, Echo Slam, Requiem, they're all dead scenario, except for the one that Dazzle graved. He's not dead quite yet. Oh wait, Axe dunked him.
That's basically how it's gonna go, I think. Shadow Fiend is kind of their insurance against maybe a dual lane coming out in the mid lane, because even if Shadow Fiend gets crushed early on in CS, I assume that Earthshaker will be stacking the jungle for either him or Axe. So what you have ending up happening is one of those heroes needs to go into the jungle to catch up to get their next big item. For Shadow Fiend, it could be any number of items, but for Axe, it's almost always the Blink Dagger. I think first item Vanguard on Axe is usually not very good. it doesn't see a whole lot of success.
Yeah, especially not against this lineup where you're not building around a lot of right-click on vMz, you know? Not yet, anyway. Eventually they will, but...
I think they're setting up for a Tiny pick here because they have the Magnus, and then I think their plan will be to get the Ag Scepter on Tiny, and then they have additional cleaves, so they'll be gunning for a pretty far late game, not to mention that Dazzle, with his weave, also really reduces the armor of enemy heroes significantly. I think that they're setting up for a Tiny here.
Yeah.
That'd be my first guess.
And Tiny would do pretty well. He'd get 100% cleave with the Magnus buff on him with the Ags. And he is someone who can lane against Shadow Fiend with a Wisp on his side, of course. But Shadow Fiend, of course, as you talked about, he can recover very easily. He can get into the jungle, just farm those stacks up, and we're good to go at that point.
We'll see what the next pick for BBC is.
It's been this way all day with these games, just like, pick, 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 pick. Let's use all of our reserve time now.
Yeah, they're thinking pretty hard. I think they want to... I think they see the Tiny coming as well, and they want to...
Okay.
Oh, that's really good.
I like this. Because, I mean, your other option with Wisp is something like CK. Okay, well, he's also pretty vulnerable to Witch Doctor. Because he gets illusions out, throw a casket. Oh, wait, haha, you're all stunned now.
Not only that, but... Well, I think there are two options here. We're probably Witch Doctor and Disruptor. Those are the most common ones we see. But Witch Doctor... I think they also predicted Tiny here because...
Okay.
I'm harping on this Tiny a lot, but, like, Tiny doesn't want to build BKB a lot of the time.
He wants to be greedy.
And CK always gets the BKB, pretty much. You can get it at a varying timings, but you pretty much always get it. So that renders the cask kind of...
useless.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could still go for a CK here, because with the cleave, I mean, that's the big downside of picking a CK. He does not farm fast at all. Sometimes we even see players get... a Battle Fury on CK just because he farms so slowly.
I haven't tried that one, but yeah.
He doesn't have any burst damage on creeps to farm, and his mana pool is really limited.
Yeah, the only burst damage he has is like, I Reality Rift the creep for a little extra... Oh wait, it's on cooldown for like 10 seconds. Okay, well.
Yeah.
10 seconds later I can get one more.
That could potentially be what they're looking for, and with the Storm Spirit, they get a really far range of initiation. If Magnus is able to get a... fast blink dagger, their long-range initiation is actually really scary. And this is something I don't see very often, but I'm tempted to say, like, they should at least consider a Naix.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Something else someone just mentioned in chat, Sven is a possibility. He's very old school with the Wisp, and even with the Magnus, but Sven Magnus gives you, I think, 65% cleave. And you don't have to farm up the Ags to do it. Now, Magnus is not the... or Sven is not the strongest hero these days, but he can get the job done.
I think...
I'm thinking CK, though, with the Queen of Pain ban.
I like Sven a lot. He's one of my favorite heroes, but I don't know if he would work here.
Well, I mean, it's the same way with me and CK, so...
Oh, yeah. A long time ago, Sven had a change made to him where his Stormhammer was made disjointable. And I think that pretty much killed most of the viability that the hero had.
Especially with the Axe and Earthshaker picking up blinks, and possibly Shadow Fiend as well, yeah.
Shadow Fiend most likely going to get it.
Ooh.
So, oh boy.
Okay, so is this Weehaw Silencer?
Yeah, this is a farming Silencer.
Or Earthshaker, so...
No, I think they need to get the levels on Silencer. Because the plan here is as soon as they see Wisp initiating with the relocate, they're just gonna instantly hit the global silence so that Storm Spirit can't come in and Magnus can't come in to assist them.
Yeah, and CK is a hero with mana problems anyway, so if they are looking to pick that, and then you lose some int to Silencer, it may not be enough for Do My Power eventually, you know?
That could be the case. We'll see here. They could just decide to skip getting the Wisp companion entirely. We've seen that sometimes where
especially
like
with the storm.
yeah, we that could be a decent top lane combination, although whether or not they'll see the same way is up to debate.
And the other problem is, well, you've got Magnus and you've got this cleave, and the only person getting anything from that right now is Magnus. You can't give Storm more cleavage. They took the nipple away a long time ago. So I think they want to pick a melee hero here of some kind, but like Slark, Bristleback, Tiny, they're gone. Troll's gone. So you're either looking at a Storm core or a very out of meta carry.
We will see. I mean, it looks like they've kind of they put off picking the Wisp companion if they want to get one. They put it off for so long that they've kind of been put into a corner. They might not even be sure.
Whoa.
Wraith King. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it actually works because he's going to farm a lot faster if he's got Magnus Cleave as well. And he naturally crits, he'll clear creep waves relatively quickly. And with Wisp's extra movement speed, he'll have a lot of mobility.
Not to mention that BBC have a lot of what's the phrase? Like single phase, I believe. I'm not too sure.
It's
but
like one-shot team fight.
Yeah, because you have the Earthshaker with his dunk, Silencer uses one silence, Shadow Fiend has his ultimate, and Axe can re-dunk if he gets the, if he gets the proper, if he dunks once, he'll dunk, yeah. And then Witch Doctor has his ultimate, so what we see here is more of like, okay, you're gonna blow everything on a Wraith King who is hoping to get super tanky, and then as soon as that's over, we're gonna...
You better buy a refresher.
Yeah.
Excuse me, a Wii fresher.
Yeah.
Yep. It is going to be Hook on the Shadow Fiend, though. Headed off toward the top rune for now. Earthshaker played by Yapzor. We will be on the Axe, actually, moving toward the off lane. And Exist will be on your Silencer, with Witch Doctor played by Levy, supporting him in the bot lane.
And we already see that there is a very early ward put down by this Magnus, who will be going to the off lane. Not a huge fan of offlane Magnus, but I think in the right hands it can be made to work. Nudge, nudge, arise.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he's got the same skills. In terms of draft, BBC is more tried and true.
Yeah. If it were teams I didn't even know, I'd say the draft is about even. Maybe giving slight advantage to BBC just because I don't feel like Wraith King is a good hero at the moment. But he has his place, and this is kind of the place where, okay, we want to go wombo combo. Well, cool. You've already womboed, and now I'm back. So
there's no more wombo to be had.
No wombo for you.
It could be okay. The vMz are really focused on, like, they need to be the ones who initiate. They need to... I think their priority here will always be Silencer, because if he survives the initial burst and uses his global, then their entire teamfight goes awry.
Yeah.
Whereas BBC are more comfortable to be counter-initiating. You see the Earthshaker... He's very good at counter-initiating with his fissures, and then you have the Axe who can jump in and set up for more combo spells by the Witch Doctor, the SF, and then Earthshaker to jump in and use his dunk.
Yeah, we've got double dunks on this team, actually, so that's going to be very exciting team fights coming forth, and I think Earthshaker has been played in pretty much every game I've casted today. All two of them.
He's a great hero. I mean,
yeah.
I love him more than anything. But
I play him in pubs as core, so I've got that troll old Shadowblade Battle Fury crit build, but he is a strong support nonetheless. And
so in this bottom lane, we actually see that Magnus's ward hasn't been dewarded yet. It probably will right now. Yep, there we go. And Shadow Fiend already taking some serious punishment here in lane. He's getting a few CS though, so He's doing decently, actually.
And he has gone back and picked up his own tangos, so he'll have a bit more sustain here.
And Weehaw has decided to go disrupt this pull on the top lane. He might actually lose his life for this if he's not careful, but he can play pretty far up against the dual lane, especially one this week, and Wraith King doesn't even have boots yet. So the most Dazzle can do is use poison, although he does force Weehaw to use his healing salve.
Yeah. One thing is, I really feel like you can't possibly creep skip against Dazzle. Because Dazzle will just come up to you and say, oh, you just taunted? Cool. Your armor's down? Great. Let me heal. And then you'll take like 400 damage. Because all my creeps are just surrounding you.
Yeah, it's not a fun time. You have to play very safe. But I think if anybody was to play far up, it's Weehaw, especially since he has his boots now. And
with Wraith King not having those boots, they will get a poison touch off as well as a stun. The taunt will come out, and they'll just back off for now. Dazzle's going to be able to harass him out a bit with that extra range he got in the most recent patch. But it's not going to be too much. And actually, Maui will go down for first blood there. Hook securing the last raise on him. A couple right clicks to do damage, and that's up to 15 souls for the Shadow Fiend. And I believe that's a bottle coming on the courier because of it. So, very nice start for BBC here.
Yeah, I think... if you're the Wisp, you're pretty unhappy, to say the least, with how your lane started. The Shadow Fiend is already still even with the Storm Spirit in terms of CS, and since he's got his first few levels, he can play pretty safe with his knowledge right now.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and
he's going for another.
He's got extra raises.
3 HP.
3 HP, and he's gonna come back. He turns on the overcharge, trying to bait Shadow Fiend into it. A fissure comes out, and Maui, you might want to back up. He's got enough for a race.
Oh boy, that Wisp is playing really, really ballsy right now. Haha.
I got you.
No, but in all seriousness, this is I mean, you've kind of already. I don't want to say lost this lane, but you haven't accomplished what you set out to accomplish, which is to shut the Shadow Fiend down. Yeah,
Shadow Fiend getting a kill in lane just puts him in a position where he can do whatever he wants, because he has the souls to work with. He actually has a very early bottle, even though he's bottle crowed it back right now, so he'll be able to spam out those raises and really get ahead in this lane. And as someone who's played way too much Shadow Fiend, that's exactly how you want your lane to go.
Can you really play too much Shadow Fiend?
Over almost 300 games at this point.
Could be a little more. And you have to, the one upside I would say that vMz have going for them in this mid lane is that they forced the Earthshaker to play really far back. Its ping Vink check will go down. Storm Spirit. Alright, I was about to say that they forced Yapzor to camp this mid lane, but I think he's accomplishing way more.
He's more forcing them to fear his camping in the mid lane.
Yeah. Normally that would be unfortunate if like you have the Earthshaker sitting behind you in lane the entire time, but for an Earthshaker who has now helped with 2 kills and has not died, who's hit level 3,
and he's got a mega stack over here. 1, 2, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stack. No, it's 5. Oh, really? There's Hellbears in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe there's some others, like, hiding in the folds or something. I don't know.
They're all cuddling up like, hey, move over.
If Shadow Fiend does die, he can pretty much walk up to this camp and be like, prepare to die, triple raise, throw out a couple of right clicks, and then be right back at the soul cap.
Pretty much. So, I mean, you have to start looking for upsides if you're vMz. Let's take a look at their offlaners. Weehaw doing better in XP and in CS. Support levels. Wisp is level 3. Earthshaker's level 3. The only upside I see here is that this Dazzle's level 4 and the Witch Doctor's level 2.
Yeah, Witch Doctor not getting nearly as much out of this.
He has prioritized giving Exist the farm in levels. And you see it already, because Exist is level 5.
Has a Hand of Midas recipe at 5 minutes.
And he's about to hit level 6. Whereas Wraith King has just hit level 5. So I think you're okay with that. Witch Doctor can do okay with just Paralyzing Cask, and I assume that once he gets a little more space in lane, they'll probably prioritize getting level 6 on him.
Yeah. And one other thing is, putting this axe in the offlane forces the Wraith King, he can't go for that Midas that you want to get, so you get that level 3 reincarnate very quickly, because you're against an aggressive hero. You're against the axe. You need extra health to survive this lane, especially if you're not going to put any points in Vampiric Aura, and if you do, that pushes your lane, so it's kind of a catch-22 for him if he wants to go for the Midas.
It's a tough decision to say the least. I think... I don't think that you would go for the Midas anyway, because you need to be... Like, getting the Midas is kind of incongruous with having the Wisp, because the entire point of the Wisp is just that you're going to get level 6 and go ganking. So he needs to get as many items as he can to be effective in the early to mid game. And
30 attack speed's not going to do much for him.
Yeah, so I think you'll prioritize either a Blink, an Armlet, or just a straight-up Maelstrom.
Yeah, the Maelstrom could help him farm and also do a lot of damage in team fights, especially if he gets kited a bit. It'll let him... I mean, he can hit something else and still do damage to another target, possibly.
As long as the... oh, yep, Zor.
We're ready to... No. We're done.
Ready.
Yeah, we had something like a 48% packet loss spike happen last game, so...
Thank you, Volvo.
Yeah, thanks, Volvo. At least US East stopped for a while, knock on wood.
I think you've just doomed us right there.
I probably did. I'm gonna queue for a game, and I'll be, like, about to win, and it'll be like, nope, doesn't count. No MMR for you. Or server will lag, and it'll still count, but I'll lose 50 MMR somehow.
Easy.
GG, report the Revo, very noob.
Yeah, and we already see, just taking a look at map position, Yapzor has come back, but he has been gifted mid lane experience. He's actually going for 2 points in Fissure, 1 point in Enchant Totem, which is kind of odd. And we see Hook has gone to start clearing out this jungle camp. Looks like he'll probably just use one more raise when he gets the mana, and then go back to base, and continue to just give Yapzor experience here in the mid lane, so that he can get...
The poor guy. I did notice, I pulled up the Star Ladder stream, you know, for bets and shit. Alliance has 2 members DC'd and they're paused, and it seems to have been paused for a while, so, yeah, it's a Dota problem.
Yeah. Oh well, it's unfortunate. We can only hope that Dota 2...
It is funny to see them crying DDoS, and I'm like, nope, it's happening to all of us. It's not DDoS. Arab internet. Well, I guess that is completely true. I always forget that they have Arabic members in BBC. But...
sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't.
Don't talk bad about Valve. You'll get shadow banned.
All the team is gonna get disconnected now.
Yeah. Gaben's face will appear in the river, and all will be well. Sorry if it ruins your lore. Okay, now he has 10 seconds to play the game, and then we get to pause again. Although, let's keep in mind, this is nothing compared to South American Dota. Even without UG pauses,
life's rough, man.
It's rough, yeah. I still think we need, like, a Central American server. Now, I know the real estate for that may not be ideal, but, like, something for North America and South America to compete on with, like, at least somewhat even playing field.
Time will tell.
Yeah, of course. Anyways, back into the game. It is 2-0 for Balkan Bears, sitting very nicely. Wraith King currently your top farm on the map, but keep in mind, Silencer going for the Hand of Midas right now. Should be able to keep up with him just fine. And actually, Shadowfiend, now that he is getting these last hits on that stack, has surpassed him. And
oh, we are gonna die in the jungle here. Wisp gets that last hit. He was trying to steal this camp here, but it looks like Storm Spirit will just take it instead.
They'll just get a little extra out of the camp. There's a big red axe in there, you know.
Yep.
An Earthshaker picking up some wards, and there's Silencer's Midas coming online at 6 minutes. Storm did go for Soul Ring, which this is something I still like against Axe, but it's not as great because I Soul Ringed. Oh wait, I'm in dunk range.
Well, for him, his playstyle at this point. You see, he's gone for 2 points in Static Remnant, 3 in Overload.
Yeah, none in the.
He doesn't want to get close to the axe. He doesn't want to be standing in one position for too long, or else he's just going to get wrecked by the axe. So his strategy at this point will be to get the most out of his jumps as possible, and the Soul Ring helps him with that. He's gone straight Power Tread, Soul Ring, maximize your mana efficiency.
And maximize the Overload as well, so that every time you get an Overload proc, you're really hitting hard. So Axe gonna get a taunt up top. It won't be enough to bring these guys down, though. It's more just for survivability. He tries to throw the stun, but actually ends up taking a few tower hits in response.
He hasn't skilled his ultimate yet. You see here, he's holding the point for when he needs it. He will just now skill it, because he saw a TP scroll coming in, although it was cancelled. But
nice fake TP from them, though.
If you look at the Radiant safe lane, Exist has already started to go into the jungle, and he's started pulling. So they've immediately, they've given Witch Doctor priority to get up to level 6 now.
Yeah, and he is only level 4, but he'll be able to catch up nicely with this solo lane. And Silencer, having the Midas, he'll actually be able to go into the jungle for a minute.
Wraith King got dunked.
Oh, wow.
That's huge. His ultimate's on cooldown for 260 now.
Yeah, and keep in mind, when we dunks him... Cool, you slowed us? Just kidding, I have extra move speed.
That is also true.
Nice ult, bro. Did you see there was a suggestion on Reddit that said we should get an Ags upgrade for Wraith King that lets an ally use his ult in a certain radius? I was like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I'd rather not have that.
That would be the most broken thing ever.
Huh. We still taking some damage, but he's got the Tranquil Boots to help him regen in a little bit. He also has a Magic Stick, so...
Quite a few charges, too.
Yeah, he can... I mean, I would guess that vMz are good enough where they've clicked on him and seen, like, oh, okay, he has a Magic Stick. He's getting charges, so... they know that they can't dive him too far, because that's the real strength of getting a Magic Stick or a Magic Wand, is it baits the enemy team to come in and think, like, oh, we definitely have this kill, and then suddenly they don't.
Yeah, the burst regen is very useful, indeed, so... It's kind of a mini mech that also works with mana. And Dazzle, I mean, he's a very spam-heavy hero. He may not have quite the mana pool to do it yet, but... I mean, his heal is on a 6-second cooldown at level 4. Other spells are on similarly low cooldowns, and eventually he'll be popping spells off like there's no tomorrow. Now, Storm is rushing the Bloodstone, so since he's not going for the Electric Vortex-focused build, he's not going to be getting those solo kills, and he knows it, so... He's going to be going for a more tanky, mana-focused build.
Yep. Although, it looks like BBC have anticipated this pretty well. Hook has already finished the mechanism before 10 minutes. Yeah. So you were talking about the mini-mech. It doesn't matter. They already have the regular mech.
The mega-mech.
Yeah. The mecha.
Ah. Oh, and top lane. Yep, we high in trouble. There's the relocate in from the Storm, and we high.
Oh!
Oh, the Witch Doctor! Look at it go! The die for Storm? Is it enough? It is. But Storm may be paying for it with his life. Oh.
Ooh, the fissure, come on!
Not enough. But Storm, well...
He's trapped.
Maybe I can stall long enough? Wisp comes in. Regen him up. Is it enough? Oh, he's going for it. He's diving.
Oh my gosh.
He gets it! The crit! It's not there yet. It is. Finally, but Shadow Fiend takes a skill anyway. RP on 2 just to disengage here. And in the end, a 2-for-2 trade, I believe. Unless someone else died there that I missed. Wraith King, Storm, Axe, and Witch Doctor.
Quite a hectic fight. But Storm Spirit gets more than enough out of that, I think. Oh, yeah. The fact that he lived for so long was huge.
And he just basically said, hey, I'm dead anyway. Let's kill something else.
Yup. and Weeha is gonna go. He can see this illusion, so he's just like,
They
what
know
am I
I'm
supposed to do about this? And Wraith King will go back actually for a Handamitis. That's kind of weird. Way to like make my prediction totally wrong.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we made opposing predictions. One of us has to be right, right? The caster's curse can't work there.
It has to be always the opposite.
Yeah. It's like when you, you know, butter side up, like you place a butter side up on the back of a cat, and then the cat hovers midair forever.
Looks like there's gonna be a relocate onto Weeha here. He's gonna get the call off, and it looks like he'll dunk the whiff. Storm Spirit also doing a ton of damage. Looks like Weeha will probably die here. Hook gets the mech off, but it's not enough. Storm Spirit rolls away from the Earthshaker Fissure.
Yeah. A great ult by the Witch Doctor there, but it wasn't enough to kill off anyone else in the end.
Yeah,
and there's an urn now up on Dazzle. That's going to be huge in this we can find pickoffs kind of strat. Because not only can you earn the Wisp, Wisp doesn't have to build it, which means he can actually start building a little tankier so he stops dying. And he can go for something more greedy like a Soul Ring. Which, Storm actually gets double Soul Ring now.
Huh.
If Wisp is with him, which is...
That's
well, it's a lot of
crazy.
mana. And considering he's... well, he's got his Soul Booster now. He is 700 from a Bloodstone at 12.5 minutes.
Quite the farmed Storm Spirit, I would say.
Dear.
Oh
dear.
boy.
Did we get DDoS by Volvo? Oh, there I go.
Oh boy.
Are you still in?
Yup.
That was like the worst time for the Storm to DC though, because
He could have died,
sack, yeah.
Alright.
And again, of course, I look over at Starlight, they're still paused.
Yeah, I tried to do a ping, and... okay, 136 MS and 21% packet loss.
Oh, only 21%, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I remember when me and Rupture were casting Battle of America on Hitbox in November, when the servers were really at their worst. There was one lag spike where it was like, they pause, and it's like, we've been trying to pause for 2 minutes. It won't pause.
Yeah.
What's going on? And that's typed in, by the time you read this message, the world may have ended. The world of the Dota servers, well, it's definitely ended.
Yeah, it's rough.
Looks like they just exchanged those servers with the EU servers and thought it would make everyone happy.
Now they get the bad times.
Just had to switch out the international plugs, you know? And everything was fine. Oh, I'll turn back on assisted camera. Because I'm bad at using normal camera. Do you use assisted camera? Or...
No, I do not. Because I'm the best. No, I just...
You can actually do regular camera. That's... more power to you, man.
Hire me, boys.
Because I definitely can't. And... when I figured out what assisted camera was, like... I heard Mott say something about it on air. I'm like, wait, that's a thing?
Huh.
I'll never go back now.
I don't even know what assisted camera is, honestly.
It's like hybrid, directed, and free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well...
It's strange to get used to, but... it's like once you go black, you never go back. Like... nothing quite as good. I'm talking about the Dota player.
Yeah.
Good lord.
What was I gonna say? You totally threw me off
I'm
there,
sorry.
man.
We
No,
is
it's okay.
gonna go for the, Vanguard?
I think so. Looks like there's an initiation mid. Dazzle will die to Hook, who is currently 4-0-0. Yapzor is 0-0-4, so these guys complement each other perfectly. There will be a gank onto top, where Weeha is taking a lot of damage. He will fall again to the Magnus, who is closing in, not actually on his Blink Dagger. He's working on it, though.
I like the mana boots, though, especially on the team with Wisp and Wraith King. Because Wisp obviously doubles your mana regen on another hero, and then Wraith King just needs it.
For sure. So, understandable. Yapzor will snatch the regen rune from Magnus, who is very sad. He's got to go back to base now, I think.
The problem is Magnus is only sitting about like a bottle's worth ahead of the Earthshaker, and then 600 or 700 maybe. It's not a ton of an advantage for him. Of course, the Earthshaker's been getting lots of assists here, and doing very well for himself. So
he has. I think the Earthshaker will continue to just... I mean, Yapzor has played this Earthshaker perfectly, I think. Even despite the fact that he just had to camp behind the Shadow Fiend the entire early game. He's played it pretty much perfectly. Even though he has only 8 last hits. The real weak point at this point for BBC, I think, is just Weehaw, because this axe is really far behind. He's not going to be going for a blink first, which is kind of okay, considering that you're against a Wisp lineup. You can tank up a little bit more, but I don't know.
The problem is, he's their initiation. Like, what are you going to have Earthshaker get a blink before the axe? I mean, that'd be great for the Earthshaker, but it's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, and Shadow Fiend is just going for a straight-up tank build. He decided to get... He's going for BKB first after his mech, so there's no initiation from him. I think this might be a mistake from Weehaw, but considering how much he's been relocated on... And look, they're going to give him this jungle stack here.
Yeah, he needs it, though.
He does, yeah. He needs... They understand that their timing comes, I think, when he gets both the Blink and the Vanguard. They've chosen to get the Vanguard first, just so that he can survive in that initial burst when Wisp relocates, because Storm Spirit now has a Bloodstone. Their initiation range is basically limitless, because Wraith King now has a Blink Dagger. Magnus will be getting a Blink Dagger fairly soon.
And also Storm Wisp. So,
yeah,
literally global.
Pretty much. The only hero who isn't very mobile at this point is the Dazzle, and nobody cares about Dazzle. He's just there to make sure the people don't die.
And Dazzle knows, I mean, he's like, I'm against Axe. Shallow Grave is completely useless. Let's just not even worry about it, you know?
Yeah, it's a bad spell. Don't even bother getting it. It's worthless.
What would you like next? Stats? Just stats.
Yeah, all stats. Levi has picked up a point booster. He's going to be going straight for the Aghanim Scepter. Pretty decent choice, I think. They have to make a choice, though, between who they want to prioritize farm on, the Witch Doctor or the Earthshaker. I think Earthshaker needs his Blink Dagger more than the Witch Doctor needs his Ags, but that's up for debate. I mean, that's personal preference.
Yeah.
Yapzor might just be so good, he doesn't even need a Blink Dagger. He has Smoke coming out. Oh, he's got Observer Wards and the TP. So
I think the idea here is that, okay, at least from the drafting stage, was we get to blink. We blinks in. Everyone else just walks up and throws ultimates out afterwards. But the problem is that that's relying on we not getting shut down. And vMz, they identified that pretty easily and said, we gotta shut him down. We have to stop him from getting that blink, and we can stop the snowball before it starts rolling. And
they've kind of started their own little snowball that's been going at a pretty decent pace, but I think they need to continue ganking with this relocate. They need to team up with the Storm Spirit, that Storm Spirit and Wisp, and make something happen. Now that they have the Blink Dagger on Magnus, I think that this is their go time. They need to push mid or bottom tier 1, and then try to make a kill happen there into a tower, get Roche, because they have a pretty decent Roche taking lineup. They have good physical damage from Wraith King, who has decided to max out his crit. Good regen from Wisp. They don't have any Empower on the Magnus, which is the only thing. And then Storm Spirit with Aegis is probably arguably one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, I think.
Yeah. And also I did see Reverse Harry in chat, who has been around a lot of these players a lot. I know he mods a lot of pro streams. He mentioned Weehaw loves his Vanguard. He'll go Vanguard before Blink pretty much 9 out of 10 times. So, I'm not sure that was the original plan in this game, but I think that does tell us that well, I'll just fall back on Vanguard. That was what I'd rather do anyway.
I mean, I think, like, Dota, there's the correct choice for an item, and sometimes there's just, like, a comfort pick, where you know the item so well that, like, it's like Yule Scepter on Shadow Fiend. Sumail kind of made that. I don't want to say he invented it, but, like, he made it really popular. After DAC, when he used it and he showed everybody, like, hey, this does tons of damage, and it's really versatile. You can let yourself survive through a lot of burst damage. Like, sometimes those comfort picks just work. So, there's something to be said for playing with something that you're comfortable with, instead of going for the objectively, like, most people would say, correct item choice. So, I mean, sometimes it's fine to say, like, why are you getting a refresher on Dazzle?
Double the armor, though. Think about it.
Obviously, you want to get 2 graves off. But there's...
Axe can't dunk them both, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, yes, you can.
Yeah. But they are going to give this Ancient Stack to Weehaw. After this, he's going to be really close to his Blink Dagger. He's just got 300 gold to go.
And also, he's got the magic wand if he wants. Like, he can just pop that and be at full health right now. Maybe not the most efficient thing to do, but...
No, he'll just wait for the Tranquil.
Yeah.
But we do see... Looks like vMz are looking for something in the Radiant Jungle. They might find Weehaw here. If Ping Vichek actually jumps into this camp, he could probably kill Weehaw. And he could kill his Tranquil Boots. But they will decide not to go for it. They just drop a ward down here.
And now the Blink's on.
Yep.
19 minutes, relatively late, but...
After getting the Vanguard, actually, that's a really good timing. Considering that he's also died 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good.
In this game, situationally, it's fine.
Yeah, the props to Weehaw for coming back from a pretty crappy laning phase. And you have to give a lot of props to BBC as a team, because... they immediately recognized, like, we need the Vanguard and the Blink, so we're going to stack up all these camps, while maybe we would like to give those stacks to the Shadow Fiend or the Earthshaker, or even the Witch Doctor. Like, we're going to give it to Axe and just accelerate his farm massively, because now they're just, you can see, as soon as they get the Blink Dagger on Axe, they all go bottom.
Yeah, they're 5-manning now, and I would say as long as they stop Mag from getting a good RP off, they win the 5-man fights most of the time, at least except for killing off Wraith King. But I mean, you kill the rest of Wraith King's team and he comes back, it's where'd everybody go, you know, over again.
And this is a really good move by vMz. I think they know that, like, they know that Shadow Fiend wouldn't be out this far by himself, and they also know that Exist has a full Aghanim Scepter and level 2 ultimate, so they don't even try to defend this tower. They know that it's a setup by BBC, so they will try and defend high ground as best they can. And they actually have a pretty good high ground defense. Yeah. Magnus' Shockwave, very good. Wisp can use the Spirits, which he has maxed.
And Storm can... Honestly, I feel like Storm in a high ground defense situation is actually okay, because you can just zip back to the fountain, fill your bottle up, zip back out. In a way that no other hero really can. You know what I mean? It's not ideal, but it is a nice perk to have, because you've got that extra bit of regen that's bottomless, really.
And the call now will be to go for Roche on BBC, but there's a wraparound from the Dire, trying to get the initiation off here.
Yeah, oh, the courier! That's a dead courier, and it had... parts of a mech, I'm assuming, on it? Or no, part of a Tranquils, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just a little bit extra.
I'm assuming the chainmail is someone else's at that point.
And honestly, it's okay that, Hook might get caught out here. He pops the Remnant, so they should notice that something's on. Here.
They haven't pinged or anything, but Wisp is hanging back. Wisp is actually just gonna TP out.
TOP is gonna blink out of this situation, and... Oh, they're not even gonna try and go for him. As soon as they, like, that Remnant on the high ground from Storm Spirit was really awesome. Because there's no way that Hook sees that before he walks uphill, and by the time he's popped it, he's already given all the information that he needs to that vMz need.
Yeah.
So
they know somebody's around here.
Yeah. So they immediately back off. And honestly, I think it's better that Radiant's courier died there. The fact that their courier dies there prevents them from going into a team fight where they think it's like a 2-on-5, but in reality, the entire Dire team is just hiding out in the Radiant jungle waiting for a counter initiate.
Yeah, they at least, like, the Dire gets the courier gold, but the Radiant team doesn't lose their gold for dying, which I think they probably would have done there, with Wraith King blinking into the back end of the fight, and I believe Magnus was with him in the Radiant jungle, so yeah, they would have got a good blink RP off, and would have been all downhill from there. Shadow Fiend going for the Scotty again, he wants to get tanky.
And that will be the name of the game. I think they just want the focus to be on the Shadow Fiend, like, hey, let's kill this guy. And then
oh wait, we can't.
So when he survives the burst, then suddenly Silencer starts hitting really hard. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. He's going for a quick refresher.
Yeah, just straight up rushing both.
Yeah.
Not upgrading boots, but hey, if it works, it works. And double global is definitely a force to contend with. My one downside for Silencer is that he hasn't stolen any int. Period. He is literally 0, 0, and 0.
He's fine with that. He's basically a deterring measure in this fight, I think.
Yeah.
Basically just to say, like, hey, don't fight us. As Dazzle will be caught out here by the axe. Looks like TOP's just gonna run away.
And the dunk.
Stuns Levi.
Stun him, run, but unfortunately with Axe's speed, they're gonna be able to chase him down. Stun comes out from Witch Doctor. There's a blink available. But I don't think we wants to use it.
Cautious though. They don't want to get hit by RP. But it looks like Mikrob will just die anyway. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. As Wisp will relocate out, he'll probably just be forced to die. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna leave Wraith King here. He caught Wisp in the call beforehand, so they went to the fountain, and then they both started running straight toward Axe, like, no, we have to fight him! Talk about a long distance call, you know? Storm Spirit, what are you...
Oh, he's just cutting creeps.
Okay.
He thinks that they want to push high ground at this point because they don't have the Magnus and the Wisp, but they're just going to go into Roche. That's a really good heads-up play, though.
Yeah, because it at least gains a bit of map control for vMz. And Storm is that kind of mobile hero who can get back out. They did... Now, the Courier... I think it's been spotted. Yeah, that was... Well, that was a teal ping. Only I'm not sure which teal it was. If it was the kind of yellow... Blue with the Dire or which, but... somebody saw it.
Now has Aegis and his full Scotty. He will be flying this Courier over to him with the Scotty pretty soon.
And we has got a blade mail done between Stash and Courier. It was his chainmail in the end.
Okay. So, fights from here on get really, really difficult for vMz, although I still see them being able to come back. We see Wraith King is working really hard on either a Desolator or a BKB. I think he should go BKB here, although after the refresher's done on Silencer, it won't matter a whole lot.
Yeah. BKB would be good, but it's not going to be amazing this game. It's just going to protect him from Earthshaker, pretty much.
I think...
And raises.
The rationale here might be, like, you don't pop it for your first life. Like, okay, fine, you killed me. And then, second life, as soon as you respawn, you use it so you don't get instantly stun locked.
Yeah.
And then you start putting out as much damage as possible.
The classic, oh no, I am dead. Just kidding, BRB.
Although, really, if you want to go that far, you should just build a refresher, man.
Yeah. So you can infinitely respawn.
Yeah, and then you get Aegis.
Yeah, and then good luck killing him.
Storm Spirit will take a tier 2 tower bottom here. The
They're
movements from
taking
the
one
Storm
top at least, but
are really good.
Yeah, Storm has been very mobile around the map this game, and he's still only sitting on 8 Bloodstone charges. He's not really snowballing hard, but at least he's keeping his charges together.
Yeah.
You don't want to be sitting on 2 Bloodstone charges at this point in the game, because then it's like, cool, I invested 5k gold for some extra HP.
Nothing. will be a tier 3 push here. Storm Spirit is still attacking this tier 2 tower. He's getting the most he can because he trusts his team to be able to stall pretty well. The Weave minus armor is really deterring BBC from attacking this tower. They're going to wait for it to go away, and by then Storm Spirit has already taken this tier 2. Dazzle's taken a Yule Scepter. I don't know where he got all that farm, but somehow he made it.
Did he borrow Wraith King's Midas for a few
that's
minutes?
Huge. Double BKB.
Yeah, and both 10-second right at this time. The next fight may not go Balkan Bear's way, especially since they're not near the refresher at this point. I'm assuming there's not a... Okay, he just needs the recipe, but that's still 1,300 off. And unless he wants to, like, ditch the Midas now, not the best thing. And actually, Wraith King using his son to farm, they're really confident that BBC doesn't want to fight him.
As soon as the Weave comes off cooldown, even though it's just the SF, they immediately use it. Just to deter for that extra period of time, because their mid lane and their bottom lane are pushing in for the Dire, so they're kind of okay with this. Eventually the creeps are going to get to the tier 3, and it'll force BBC to make a decision. Either we're going to stay and fight this, or we're going to go back. As Hook will take a stun to the face, dropping kind of low. And Dazzle's Weave comes up in 4 seconds, he'll use that.
Pretty much. They were trying to bait out the BKB.
Yeah.
And just say, oh, you used your BKB, see ya. But
yep,
he's not stupid enough for that. He's really playing well.
He's got Aegis. He doesn't have to worry about it. Wraith King gonna use that Midas, get that value. Shadow Fiend is actually playing this really well. He's just right-clicking the tower.
They wanted to go in, but Magnus didn't move in time, and the rest of the heroes started to back off enough that Shadow Fiend was still over here, and you were either RPing Shadow Fiend or RPing the rest of the team. So it wasn't going to be a 5-man, or even more than one, and still lock down the important hero, the Shadow Fiend, in that case. And Silencer's positioning in these fights has just been, okay, I'm in the back. I'm just hanging out. I'm good.
Yup.
Not going to get jumped.
He will have a pretty... He will be having his refresher by the time the next fight happens, but unfortunately they won't have Aegis by the time that happens.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's why they're backing off right now.
Yeah, in a way that's kind of a victory for vMz, because they've waited out the Aegis and now they're going to go smoke, try and find a pick off.
Yeah, and Balkan Bears has great high ground defense, but they do not have excellent high ground push. You basically have to commit completely to a fight by like blinking Wee high in. Now Hook, he's going to get stunned. This could be the fight they're looking for. They get the Dazzle ult off. The ulti coming out for Shadow Fiend. The silence comes out, but there's already been an RP out on Wee. He's on a killing spree now. Wraith King does BKB up here, but he's just too slow. But Storm Spirit now coming in, BKB'd up as well. He silences down Hook, and the Shadow Fiend will go down, I believe, here. Top, taking him down. Echo Slam comes out, takes down the Wisp and the Dazzle. Those supports dropping there. Storm Spirit zipping himself away. There's a blink forward from Wee, and he does have the dunk. It'll connect. And 4 go down. A Wraith King falls as well. He may actually fall a little more. He's got blink at 2 seconds, and he'll be okay to get away.
Man.
What a fight, but not the best they could have hoped for.
Bit of it. I mean, the timing on the team fight was perfect. The Shadow Fiend's Aegis had just run out. Like, he was in the middle of regenning. Unfortunate that they couldn't catch him when he was at, like, half HP and he was just starting to regen, but you can't get everything you want.
At least they walk away with something, though.
Yeah. The big problem in that team fight was just that Magnus got a pretty not-so-great TP.
RP, yeah.
RP. He only got the Witch Doctor, I think.
Yeah, it was either Witch Doctor or Wee, and I'm not really sure which one it was. Because Wraith King came in right here, saw Shadow Fiend right there, had to stun, and then Magnus instantly leaps forward over here to land the RP before anyone else jumps the Wraith King. Because then, otherwise, you don't get the kill on Shadow Fiend. So, it was more a, gee, I hope something's here, I'm going in and ulting guys, RP. Yeah. And it was actually the right play, I feel like. It's just that BBC's positioning was very good there, and they weren't too clumped up.
Oh, yeah.
And now they got the refresher, which is... like, cool, you took a fight with BKBs. Well, guess what?
Now your BKB is kind of useless. And one other downside of that fight was that the Storm Spirit ended up coming in. He helped get a few kills, but now he's down to 6 Bloodstone charges after his death to Weehaw. So, Storm Spirit a little bit worse for wear after that fight, and he will be looking to pick up another item. He's got 1,600 gold. I don't know, I think maybe Sheepstick next might be the play. You want to hex the Silencer before he's able to use his combo.
Yeah. I mean, hexing anyone at this point on this team is going to be pretty big. But Silencer obviously would be priority number 1. Witch Doctor, though, now with an Axe as well. And this just takes a team fight that was already pretty good and says, well, what if we hit everyone with Witch Doctor ult? Like, literally everyone.
Everybody gets it. Yeah, it's a rough position for them to be in, especially now that, like, I was gonna say that, if Storm Spirit got the Sheepstick, I think the thing to do would be hex the Silencer as you roll past him, but you don't focus him. You immediately then go on to the supports and try to kill them, because Yapzor and Levi can crush a team fight together.
Especially with the Ags and the Witch Doctor at this point, and hopefully they spot it out before the next fight, but they may not have the chance.
Immediately smoke, yeah.
Now, I don't think they're going to find anything with the smoke. It looks like they're going toward Roche. Wait, how? Are they just guessing perfectly? No, stay! Oh! It's like 10 seconds. I was about to call hacks on that, but since they left, it's not. Yeah.
I don't think that even if they walked in and saw that Roche was there, they don't know where any of the Dire team are right now besides the Storm Spirit, so they would be very wary of going for it. They would rather get a pick off and then go.
Or get a Rax.
But now that they see TOP is mid, maybe they'll go for it. They just don't know that Roche is up right now.
Yeah. Wait, they'll actually check with the courier right now, so they're going to realize it. And it looks like that's the play.
TOP is in the jungle, so he can't respond. Oh no!
There is a ward. Spotting it out, though. They're not gonna... Are they? Okay. Looks like they may be going for it, but again, Silencer is just like, I'm sitting in our jungle. I don't need int. What is extra int gonna do for me? How about I just stay alive?
I mean, that's basically all he needs to do.
Yeah. Sit in the fountain, Silencer. You've got your level 16, right?
And a refresher. Yeah, he basically doesn't need to pick up any more items.
I did play a game the other day where the Silencer disconnected, but he already had, like, Scepter, and so it was like, well...
We can still press R.
I mean... Whatever. Oh, Echo Slam on 2! Silence comes out, but Microb, he purges it with the BKB, he didn't realize he had it yet. Sun up on the Earthshaker. Wraith King will be going down to a chop from the axe. And Magnus down as well. Pingvic coming in, he takes down the Earthshaker, they're looking for more. He silences up Exist, who does have a second global here. There is a double kill for Hook. And it's just Wisp and Storm, but Wisp will get off to the mid lane, he'll be okay here. However, that is, again, a free Roche and then a little extra at only the cost of an Earthshaker. That's right, call now.
Definitely a great deal for them as they pick up that Earthshaker. I mean, Earthshaker did die, but he... Very smart play from him. Instead of waiting for the initiation to come from vMz, he immediately blinks and gets the Echo Slam on 2. And forces Magnus to jump in at an inopportune time and get a subpar RP. Which has really been the story here. This Magnus hasn't been living up to its potential, which isn't his fault by any means. I think it's just BBC playing extremely well.
Yeah, and Butterfly now up on the Shadow Fiend. Little negative armor coming out, but he's already got 18 base armor, so he can do a lot. And actually, Dazzle, well,
goodbye.
He dazzles no more.
Goodbye, my friend. We'll see you in the next realm.
I mean, it's only a couple seconds because he is a support, but he doesn't have buyback, and that could be a big deal. I think he may have gone Mules just to stop Axe from blinking away constantly. The problem is, okay, Axe isn't going to blink away. He's going to walk right towards you and kill you.
Yeah. It's rough. Although the one upside vMz have here is that reverse polarity.
Coming in. There's no silence. They're picking off Exist, or they're at least trying to. He's not silenced anymore. Now, Storm will BKB, and no refresh coming out. He doesn't have it up right now. And they actually will make a good trade here. They're picking off 3. Witch Doctor with the buyback, Earthshaker with the Ghost Scepter as well. There'll be a buyback out from the Dazzle, though. Or just a respawn, possibly, and a buyback from the Wisp. As Earthshaker falls, Hook is alone against this team. But it could be a...
Weehaw!
Oh, Weehaw makes it back. They get the Grave Hook. Okay, with the ulti. Actually, Top was there. Okay. My apologies for that. These fights have been extremely chaotic. Can only imagine if we actually had a Chaos Knight. And Hook, well, Hook had jumped on because Wraith King did just buy back into the game. Top getting the stun off. There's a silence on him as well. He does mech up. He will go down to the Io of all people, who is okay, miraculously. Axe can't quite make the blink back in here thanks to the urn. And Wraith King looking for Levi. It's not looking great for BBC this fight, actually.
He's a Lightning Revenant. Look at him.
Oh my god. They do bring down the Witch Doctor. Can they find the last one? They're going to use a relocate even. Just to make sure they get the... Not exactly the 5-man wipe they were looking for, but close enough because I believe they got 6 or 7 kills there.
Okay, that's actually huge.
Because one of them was a dieback. I know. Yeah. Those were both diebacks. Axe and Witch Doctor. And Wraith King and Wisp buyback, but do not die. That's a 6k gold swing.
Alright, that's all good, but check out this Storm Spirit. He didn't even die in that fight. Didn't have to buy back. The Wisp saved him multiple times, I think. He's got 13 Bloodstone charges, picks up a Shiva's Guard. He's got almost 2,000 gold left on him.
He buys a Shiva's and still has buyback.
Yeah.
And we doesn't, yeah. Global's down as well, and Refresher's up, but... Okay, Global's up in 10 seconds, yeah.
Alright, that was actually huge for Ping Vinsec.
Yeah. Getting those extra Bloodstone charges are going to help him a lot. And him just getting in there and focusing down Silencer, at least preventing a Global for a while, but an Echo Slam coming out, they want to get him. Can Wisp bring him back? He's gonna...
Doesn't even need to.
Wow. He makes it. They use the BKB, which is, I mean, it's getting lower, but it saves his life. And actually, everyone from vMz make it away. Wow.
That's huge. And they get a tier 3 tower.
It's like, cool, so you took half a Rax. Well, we'll kill you all. That'll teach you. Don't touch our Rax.
Not to mention that Wraith King wasn't even there for that fight. I think if... Oh, wow. They're actually going to try and go for this fight again. They don't have Echo Slam on Earthshaker. They do have double Silencer ultimate, although this Storm Spirit can just roll in and wreck Exist if he wants.
Yeah. He's been able to do enough damage to kill Exist off, or silence him and do enough damage that he can only get one silence off. He refreshes, but then he dies before he even uses the second one. And I mean, cool, so you got one silence off. I'm just going to BKB, zip away quickly before you get the other one off. And then, oh wait, you just wasted your second global when I'm nowhere near you.
Yup. And they will, BBC, I think, wisely decide not to push up mid. That would be like a, okay, we have to end it now, guys. But that was actually really smart. They had BKB up on the Magnus. Reverse Polarity was also available. I think pushing up into mid like that would be a mistake. Yeah. And they wisely step back. They're going to try and get the next Roche, I think, instead.
Yeah, we had almost a 7k, maybe 8k gold lead before that fight. And then you can see it dips down to about 3k. So...
It's rough, man.
Yeah. We do have Magnus. He actually empowers Storm. I was thinking a few minutes ago, I haven't really seen Wraith King with Empower that much. He has it right now, but it's been a rare occurrence. But he definitely has a lot of attack speed with 2 Hyperstones built into full items in his inventory.
I think his next decision will probably be just to sell this Midas. Like, as soon as he hits level 25, sell the Midas, get boots to travel, and then start working on an Abyssal Blade.
Yeah.
Either that, or...
You definitely have the attack speed to work with it, so...
Yeah, I think Abyssal will be the next item.
There is buyback up on the Silencer, so that's pretty big because it's like Zeus. Okay, I didn't give my ult off. Well, just pay a small fee and you can get your ult off. Boom.
Yeah. One other thing I think is interesting for if you take a look at BBC. Okay, Axe has just built a Scythe. Looking at
Okay.
BBC, like, they don't have a lot of aura items, as TOP will pick up a double damage, but there isn't an opportunity to use it on anything meaningful. He kills those creeps really hard, though. They haven't built a lot of aura items, which is odd, especially considering that there is a Dazzle and a Wraith King now with a Assault Cuirass on their team.
Yeah, and the only positive, or the only aura they have isn't a positive one, it's a negative one, being the presence of the Dark Lord. I mean, they have the mech aura, but yay.
At this point, I think you just
We
sell
get
it.
4 HP regen when we're standing next to Shadow Fiend. Why do you
Which
still
is
have this
exactly
item?
what you don't want to do.
Yeah. Like, let's stand next to a Shadow Fiend and then get RP'd, guys. It'll be great.
Yeah. It's rough. Silencer has now built himself a BKB now, so Storm won't be able to focus him down in the same way that he was before.
Okay, this is better than the buyback then, definitely.
Yeah.
And I hope they scout this out, because otherwise this BKB could be a terrifying surprise that ruins the fight. I mean, yeah.
Exist is doing a really good job of hiding himself. Like, he's not giving away the fact that he has anything, because if he shows himself on the map, that opens him up to a Wisp gank. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important here that BBC buy a gem to limit the vision that vMz have.
The problem is, you've got a Storm Spirit who's so mobile that he doesn't need wards. He can just zip around the map and find you.
Well, it's not just the Storm Spirit, it's that he needs somebody else with him. He needs the
Yeah.
Wisp and the Wraith King, I think, to kill
Or
someone
Magnus.
as beefy as Exist. Because he's tanked up pretty significantly. There will be a relocate onto Wii on the top lane, as Maui's actually taking a lot of damage. There will be a global silence. The Wisp might die here, he gets dunked.
Can they lock him down?
Spirit.
Okay, there's a BKB in the zip and the miss and the other zip. The silence comes out. Haven't got to pull. Uh-oh.
Nope, second
No
silence.
BKB.
Looks like Storm Spirit is dead here. Oh, there he goes.
He's dead. He'll be up in 40 seconds, and he does have buyback, but still, that's 5 Bloodstone charges flushed.
I think might have been better there to just use the Bloodstone Suicide. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it. Who knows? But that's an example of why you don't want to relocate onto an axe.
Yeah. Especially with a still squishy hero like Wisp. I mean, cool, you got an Ogre Club, buddy. Well...
TOP will be initiated on here.
dear.
He's turned into a pig. He might lose his first life. He will be dunked. Weehaw running away as fast as he can. Yule sceptered up into the air. TOP activates the Lightning Revenant style. He opts the BKB as well. Weehaw might fall here. Will die to the Wraith King, but TOP is half health. Levi
Storm's here.
fall as well. Oh, man.
BKB's galore coming out in RP. The Grave up on Wraith King with no axe up actually is useful this time, but he'll go down the Echo Slam into the Requiem. The Wombo combo. It's real.
Oh, boy.
Oh dear. And that's a death on the Storm. Now he does still have buyback, mostly thanks to the Bloodstone, but also thanks to the part that he's saved up 3k extra gold, just in case.
This is huge, though. The creeps are in their base. They're just going to go straight for barracks.
Storm?
They have to buy back
There
on
we go.
everybody right now and hope that they get somebody. Hook is going to get initiated on. He's probably going to die here. They might just give him up. Exist is going to get skewered back in. Try to TP out with the BKB. Should be fine here.
Yeah.
They do lose the Shadow Fiend, though.
But for 3 buybacks, I mean, that's...
They do manage to defend their barracks, which I think is most important here.
I
If they
believe they
go
did
down
lose
Mega Creeps.
a mid, though. They lost the mid-range.
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm
not
not
that's not so huge. It's just range.
Yep. But, yeah, it's not much, in other words. I feel like this game is actually a lot closer than it seems right now. vMz have made a lot of big plays. It's just, I feel like the Wraith King just doesn't carry hard enough in the late game.
We will see.
I mean,
he
yeah.
has hit level 25. I think he should just sell this Midas. They are going to get Roche, though. Having the Aegis on Storm Spirit will be huge in these fights.
No cheese needed, apparently. Oh, dear. Poor
Magnus
Wisp.
will take it. Oh, Wisp, no.
Why are you-
they will find Levi.
Wisp isn't with
Bring
him.
down. He's fine.
Stun? Oh. Okay, that hurt a bit. And at least he did get some extra damage off on them with the ult. Storm actually sitting on basically no mana right now. No, he does have that Aegis, of course. Who got cheese? Magnus?
Magnus picked it up, yeah. I think it might be best to just put it on Wisp, because then you get the regen. Yeah.
I mean, sit down the bottle and pick up a cheese. It's like a really efficient bottle charge.
Huh. Yeah, that might be the thing to do. I'm still surprised that this Wraith King is not sold as Midas. I think he needs boosted travel right now, because he needs to be way more mobile to help his team out. And he doesn't have a TP right now.
There it goes.
He sells it. There
and
you go.
Nope.
Monkey King bar is good too.
Yeah, it's not quite what we were looking for, but...
I mean, his damage output at this point is pretty good.
The problem is, in a late game situation like this, he basically is on a leash. Like, he can't go that far out from the base. Because otherwise, well, BBC gets to the base, and Wraith King's like, don't worry, guys, just give me 10... or... give me 3 minutes, I'll be there.
Well, he's kind of relying on the Wisp at this point to take him into fights and get him out. It basically just has to be a pocket Wisp at this point, as they will be smoked up. Storm Spirit is going to jump in on this Axe Illusion.
Okay. He didn't waste his silence or anything, so that's good. This guy, okay, look, your buyback is on cooldown for 4 minutes and you're holding on to 4,800 gold. Do you have something against Boots of Travel?
I think yeah, he might just be saving up to get a straight,
sheep
stick, yeah. I think that's the next item.
I mean, I could see that, but, like, you've got so much money. And you don't need the extra for buyback. How much is sheep?
5,000.
5,600, yeah. 5,675. So he's 50 gold away right now. And I mean, do we see him like say, "I don't need boots"? Who needs boots?
As soon as Aegis, well, he could actually do that.
The problem is then when he gets silenced.
Silence is no. He's got a BKB.
Yeah, but then he refreshes silence and he's still silenced.
You know what actually might be the play here? Refresher Orb Storm Spirit. I think it's time we saw it.
You know what? It makes sense, actually.
It has been bought once before. I think if he had a Sheep Stick instead of a Shivas, I would say definitely get the Refresher Orb, because then you get double Sheep, double BKB, and double Orchid. But with the Shivas, maybe it doesn't have as much value as it looks like. Storm Spirit's gonna get fissured here, won't die. Very cautious play from BBC here.
Yeah. They know how, well, volatile the storm is, and you don't want to drive straight into one of those things. Actually, oh, whoa!
They tried to get him. Wisp will relocate out.
And they'll force them back. They see the enemy team coming, or at least they feel their presence, because they actually don't have a ward there. But
they know there has to be a rotation there, as they will try and get Levi.
Well, the doctor, I believe, is out. Almost. He gets a stun for a second, but he still will fall, and the rest of the team is just retreated at this point. I mean, you don't need to dive in there to save your Witch Doctor at this point. It's not going to do that much for you.
No. Although it does give vMz a bit of an opportunity to try and go for something. Maybe they try and take mid barracks, because taking this fight without Witch Doctor, he doesn't have buyback, kind of risky.
Yeah. Again, real quick, quick shout out to all you guys coming out. We really appreciate the support. We got like over 130 viewers right now. So,
yay.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. And
mid barracks will fall
easily, like almost no contest. And without the Witch Doctor up, they don't have as great high ground defense, because they really want to finish off their team fight with this ward that just hits everything.
Oh god, this is actually... Oh, top playing a little far out.
He finally got rid of the mech.
Yeah, he had to. He gets a Satanic and an Assault Cuirass.
Now, real quick, buybacks-wise, we only have Silencer and Shadow Fiend on the Radiant, only Magnus on the Dire, but Storm and Wraith Kings are coming off cooldown in about a minute. Same with Dazzle, although Dazzle is short 1,000 gold. Roshan respawning in 5 minutes, which means basically forever.
Storm Spirit now has a slot open. What has he purchased? He's got an ultimate orb, so it will be a sheep stick. There's a smoke up from the Radiant side as they're going to try and find something.
He will still have buyback. He needs to get the sheep now. Uh-oh. Not the right move, but actually, the Absol, he gets an Echo Slam off. Storm, he pops the Shivas and zips in with it. They're getting the double silence. Magnus buying back now. Levi, he's under fire. He will fall. As is usual in these team fights at the moment, but exists. He's going down. It's just Shadow Fiend against the entire enemy team aside from Dazzle. Top Evens has his ultimate up. He'll Satanic. He's not even Satanic. He's just life-stealing regular for Wraith King, and that is a full 5-man wipe. 4 heroes going to Wraith King's cash stash, basically, and I feel wrong to doubt our king.
He can... Oh, this is so smart. Maui uses the cheese when he's tethered to top, so he doesn't have to go back to base.
Yeah, top was going to use it, but then they had a moment of genius there.
Yeah. Very well played.
They're going to force out 3 buybacks here.
At least. Well, yeah, that's all they have. But they will probably also get a set of barracks here.
The glyph comes out. This is a big play. I mean, BBC are looked at as one of the, I mean, at least a good team in the CIS region, and vMz really showing they know how to handle him. Axe Taunt will come out. There's a BKB and a Satanic coming out from the Shadow Fiend, who's trying to lifesteal up off of Storm. Storm, he's stunned up. He's going to have to go back. Hook. He's in a bit of trouble. He will get hexed up. That's 3 down. Top on a monster kill streak. Exists still here, but not for long. He'll fall. Witch Doctor's trying to look at it go, but there's nothing to see. A rampage for top. And,
that's
I mean, it's got to be game, right? There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's the part where BBC are just sitting there looking at their computer like, oh my god, we just lost.
Yeah.
What now? Oh yeah, we have to call GG. Let me do that. Anyways, it should be exciting to see. I'm gonna refresh our bracket here and see. It looks like they'll be going up against Aspera in, well, just a few minutes here. And Drag and Drop casted that, so I don't know if he'll be wanting to hop in or not. Anyways, that'll be going up in just a few minutes on Gigabyte Challenge. Of course, Turbo, it was a pleasure casting with you. Any shoutouts, promotions, etc.?
Nope, I'm good.
Alright, well, you can check him out at DasTurbo on Twitter. I'm at SB Revolution 5, and of course, the channel is at Truesight TV. We really appreciate the support. We hope you enjoyed the cast, and be sure to hit that follow button if you're headed out. But there will be one more game. Turbo, are you up for another, or?
I think I might be bowing out right now.
Alright, no problem. No problem at all. Well, it was a pleasure having you join me, and see you guys around, and we'll be right back with the next game.